Hi, this is Ennis from Never Stop Trucking. Once again, we have Amel from RTS with us, and then we are gonna talk some more about factoring. Uh, I already have a video on my channel where we had a nice conversation, and then you can check out that video. But this time, we are gonna be talking about more things. Hi, Amel, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good, man. Thanks for having me back on. Glad to be back on. Appreciate you and just all the folks I've been able to connect with since our last video, man. It's really cool to see your page is growing and folks are reaching out. So it's rewarding. I'm happy to provide any kind of advice I can to any of the folks that reach out. So
Yeah.
glad to be here.
Yeah, well, I noticed that a lot of people have questions about factoring, and some of them I can't answer some of them. And I know that you guys have been great, and you have factoring discounts, you have fuel cards, you have other things as well. So I just thought maybe we should do another round, and then if you're ready, we can go ahead and start.
Yeah, no, of course, man. I mean, just for some of the newer folks that are newer viewers that aren't too familiar with factoring and are, getting familiarized with it. Factoring, in essence, it helps with cash flow, right? So rather than waiting, 30, 60, or even 90 days to get paid from the broker, companies will factor their invoices. That helps them get the cash flow they need in order to really focus on, continuing to grow the company. So that's kind of the process in and of itself. But the way it works with us, we keep it really simple. We do everything on a mobile app. So like when our partners, when they finish their load, they go to our app, they take 2 pictures, and that's it. They're done. Once they send us the pictures, our system automatically converts that to an invoice. They get paid out within 24 to 48 hours. So we pay all of our clients same day, next day. And then after that, again, they're done. We send the paperwork off to the broker. We do the collections. We communicate with the broker and basically wait for the broker to pay us.
So it saves them time while they're doing that through the app, right?
Definitely. I mean, we take all that, paperwork processing off their plate. Our carriers don't have to waste time calling the brokers or, asking them, when am I going to get paid? What's the holdup? We do all that for them. So yeah, in essence, it enables the carriers to continue focus their relationship, growing the relationship with the broker, and not so much having to call the broker and only focus on, hey, when are you going to pay us? So it definitely saves them a lot of time.
Okay, cool. Well, when I spoke to you before, you had this nice comparison about the industry, like the places like where everything fits, together. Can you tell us more about that?
Sure. The way I visually, think of everything is, I think of a table, right? 4 legs, 4-legged table, and think of all of those legs being kind of the most important components in the industry. So first of all, and most important, you have the carrier, right? The trucking company. And then second leg, you have the shipper, which is where the goods are stored, right? So think like distribution center. And then third, you have the broker. The broker is the one that's going to facilitate the load between the shipper and the carrier. And then fourth, you have us, the factoring company. And we're the ones that handle the payment just to ensure the carrier's paid. And then, last but not least, you kind of have the dispatchers sitting on top of the table, making sure that everything flows between the 4 legs. So
Yeah.
I like to use that kind of visual concept to think of the industry, and it's it's a simple way to kind of understand how the flow of the industry.
So it's kind of like this table, kind of like a house, with 4 walls or 4 edges, any way you want to see it. And then each one is supporting each other, and then each one is doing its purpose. But then on top you have the main guy there, or girl, whoever, just working with everyone and making sure that everything is functioning well. So maybe that's kind of what this could look like. Also, I wanted to ask you a question about like what a new carrier, like when they are looking for a new factoring company, what are some key factors that they should consider, when looking?
Yeah. I mean, there are many factors. Just I'll highlight kind of the top three. The first one being fees, right? So that's usually the first question I get is, what kind of fees do you charge? There's, I mean, hundreds of factoring companies out there. A lot of them will, they'll start off by saying, yeah, we'll get you, one truck, we'll do 2% all day in this. But what most people don't, they don't tell you in the beginning is there's an invoice fee, there's likely an ACH fee. They could charge what's, a one-time setup fee or a UCC filing fee. I mean, there's all kinds of fees that these factoring companies will charge behind the, they'll mask that behind the scenes to where, they tell you one thing that, hey, we'll start you off at 2% flat, but then when you factor in all those hidden fees, it's it's much higher, and in a lot of cases higher than 3%. So that's one of the biggest things to keep in mind, and definitely ask, if you're shopping around with other factoring companies, ask them what are the additional fees aside from the factoring rate. The second thing I would say would be, the second key component would be technology. How does the processing work? How's the carrier going to send the invoices? If carriers have to scan paperwork and send it in an email and call the rep and say, hey, I sent this over, did you get it? It's a big waste of time. So technology is a really important piece of the whole equation. With us, again, we do everything on a mobile app. We keep it really simple for all of our carriers. They go in, they take 2 pictures of the rate confirmation and the BOL, and that's it. They're done. And then our system processes it from there, and they have access to all the reporting. And then within our app, they have other benefits. They can check fuel discounts. They'll have access to our load board. They'll have, tire maintenance discounts, and another very important piece, checking broker credit ratings. They'll also have that system within our app. So again, the second piece being technology. Definitely ask the companies out there how does the tech piece work, and how's that going to save time for the carrier. The third one, I would say, customer service. Obviously very important. I believe it goes way beyond the transaction. With us, we have over 2,000 employees in the company, all across the world. Several offices here in the US, and when it comes to language, alleviating some of those headaches, we likely have someone, a rep or a team that can help. I mean, whether you speak Uzbek, whether you speak Russian, Ukrainian, Serbian, Croatian, Bosnian, Albanian, we've got someone here that can help. And me being first generation American, I know how that it can get a little complicated, or it can get tough if maybe English isn't your first language. So customer service, having that leverage and having folks that understand it and can help is huge. So
yeah, so
customer service.
This the fact that you just said about that many employees and the size of the company, usually there are some instances where someone would want to work with a smaller company, like a mom and pop, and like a family-owned company, or more like in my case, the trucking company that I own, or dispatching company. But in your case, you want to work with someone that has a brand name established, that has several offices, that has so many employees, and so many being so many years in business, because that vouches for the reliability and for your background. And then whoever you talk to, like, there are hundreds of factoring companies out there, and then you just like, who are you with? And they say a name, and then you're like, who is that? But everyone knows RTS. RTS is if one of the, if not the top player So that's what you want to do, in my opinion. You want to go with someone who has a brand name behind them, and that only can mean good things for you as a trucking company, and if you're looking to factor.
Of course, no, I agree. And part of that, having that that company identity or brand identity, it helps, right? It helps us. We have partnerships with these brokerages that we've had for decades. With us being in the industry for over 30 years, that gives us a little bit of leverage, right? That with us already having those partnerships with the brokerages, and then we're able to, through that, we're able to fortunately get some more priority, and we can pass that on to all of our clients. So it definitely helps. It definitely helps. And yeah, there's new factoring companies popping up left and right all the time, right? But again, doing a little bit of due diligence and just looking up the company, looking up some historicals, I think that really speaks for itself.
I want to change a topic a little bit, if you don't mind, having in mind that these are specific times right now. I mean, trucking industry every now and then goes through bad times, but what's happening right now is hasn't been seen yet. Like this situation that we have right now, and then we just all agreed to call it a bad market times. But anyway, how can a factoring company help trucking companies in the times such as these?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good question. From our perspective, I mean, we're looking at the state of the market all the time. Things are, of course, always subject to change. They've slowed down a little bit since January of this year, but overall things are still really strong. I mean, we're seeing average invoices just north of $2,300, and there was a time not long ago where that was $1,300, right? So a lot of ups and downs, but overall, I mean, we're still really bullish on everything. A lot of new authorities are coming in, and I think we're a good fit, and we're in a good position to where we've got the best solutions for our carriers, no matter what type of market we're in. So whether that be helping them, find loads, various discounts with fuel, there's quite a other solutions that we can provide for our carriers.
Yeah, that was gonna be my next question. Like what other solutions you offer, but you kind of answered it now. So you have fuel discounts and factoring, and then there is this program that you guys offer, right? Like a software.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have Pro Transport. It's a TMS system. It helps our carriers, keep track of their payroll, maintenance, safety, dispatching. It keeps everything in one. But yeah, Pro Transport is our software side.
Okay.
So that's another way we help for sure.
Yeah. That's I know there is a few things that you guys offer there. Now, what would be a process for you guys to like when you're vetting brokers, when you're checking their history, their backgrounds? What kind of process? What are the kind of the steps that RTS takes, in order to do that?
Yeah, I mean, all the glory really goes to our credit department. Just for all the behind the scenes that they do, and all the work that they put in. I mean, we have a fully dedicated team that is reviewing trends in the market on a daily basis, right? So our credit team they're constantly evaluating our book of brokers. They're looking at brokers' financials, reviewing their payment terms, just getting that financial transparency that we are then able to share with all of our partners. And I mean, in reality, that's how we protect our partners, our carriers, and that's how we protect ourselves too. We make that credit data transparent for all of our clients.
So this is a constant process. I always thought that you check the broker once, and then you're done for a while, or you just wait for something to happen, or maybe just wait for them to see like if they're being late, on their payments, that kind of stuff. But actually, you have someone that's constantly watching and rechecking all the time.
Exactly. Yeah. So like we're able to see how long it took a broker to pay in 90 days versus 60 days versus the last 30 days. And all that's really important because, those are that's a small part of a trend that we can see if, if a broker is starting to slow down on their payment terms. Well, that could be something that maybe reviews or puts a bigger scope on them, in the near future. So if they're starting to slip up on payment terms, for example.
Oh,
But yeah, all that data is available. It's all on our app, and all of our clients get access to that.
oh, so they can see that actually?
So yeah, so we have that data. So we're able to see how long it takes a broker to pay in 90 days and in 60 days and also 30. And that's not something that, our carriers have to be monitoring daily, right? They have that. They have that.
That's why they have you.
What's that?
That's why they have you, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So we put all that data into our app, RTS Pro, and then that's where all of our carriers can go in and check to see how reliable or how creditworthy a broker is.
Yeah, because like at the time when I was not factoring my invoices, like you check the broker once and then you're like, oh yeah, these guys are good. And then you don't even think about rechecking, every once in a while. It doesn't have to be every day, but like every once in a while. But as opposed, so that's where you guys come in. So that's another thing, people just think, well, they take percentage and that's it. No, there's many other things, many other steps to protect us as carriers and also yourself as a factoring company that you guys take on a daily basis, right?
Definitely.
Okay.
It all kind of encapsulates, I would say, risk management and just having credit risk tying into risk management.
Okay. All right. Well, now what can so that's what you guys do. But what can a carrier do on their side in order to protect themselves from bad brokers besides the factoring checks? What can they do?
Yeah. Aside from broker credit checks, I would say one of the most important is diversification, right? So the more you're diversified as a carrier, the more protected you are. Simply put, I mean, ultimately, that's what's gonna protect the carriers the most. Think about it, right? Brokers' margins are changing constantly, and if a carrier gets too comfortable with one broker, that could really limit them, right? So, in essence, it's best to diversify, not be solely concentrated with just one or two brokers.
Okay, so what would be, is there like a perfect ratio that you can like if you have a few brokers that you work with, certain like a percentage of the loads?
I mean, in a perfect world, you wouldn't want to be more than 20% concentrated with one broker. And the reason is, right, think if you are on a shipping lane, you have your own shipping lane and the broker loses that lane. You're going to be impacted tremendously, right? Or think about if a claim happens, right? And you're only working with one broker and all of a sudden a claim happens. Well, that one broker is going to pause payments until all the subsequent, future payments until that claim is resolved. So there are some potential risks out there, but overall, I mean, diversification definitely reduces those risks.
Or if the broker goes out of business, I've heard that many times.
Yeah.
Like then.
Oh yeah, I mean, it happens. Definitely, just vetting the broker and checking for that type of risk helps. I mean, asking the right questions. When you have one of the reps online, how long's the brokerage been in business? Are they willing to share references? What's their customer service like? You can search historical information on the brokerage and just kind of see where they fit in the overall market.
Okay. When we spoke last time, we were speaking about factoring companies in general, like the fact that there are so many factoring companies popping up. I mean, it's the same with trucking and freight brokerage, dispatching companies. It's fairly easy nowadays to open up those kind of companies, and it's hard to find someone trustworthy. So I guess it's becoming same with factoring companies. And then, as we were saying, there are some shady companies working out of a mall or like somewhere remotely, and you don't. I mean, they can have a fancy website. They can do whatever they want to make themselves presentable. But with you guys, it's different. I actually just got an email like a couple of days ago, and this person was asking me like, hey, I have this problem, can you help me out? And me myself, I really don't know what to answer. But what happened is that the factoring company went out of business overnight, no warnings, it just disappeared. But they left, the lien was left, the UCC lien was left on their record there, and they don't know what to do. It's hard to find another factoring company that's going to work with them. I don't know if they have trouble with their invoices, the receivables, but that's something that can easily happen, and people don't even think about that.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It does happen, and again, that kind of goes back to what I was mentioning earlier. Just even vetting the factoring company. Look at their reviews online. How long have they been in business? At the end of the day, good factoring companies, they're not going to be the cheapest, right? I would kind of preface it by saying, cheap factoring can be very expensive in the long run, because if all you're focused on is rate, you might get a low rate, but you're opening the door for risk, such as that person that reached out to you. So just doing the due diligence and vetting the company, knowing who you're getting ready to work with. If you need references, obviously ask for those. That always helps. And like I said, checking out the reviews online, seeing what other experiences other customers have had, that I think goes a long way before you ever sign any agreements.
Yeah, well, not to, don't want to take sides, but you can prevent all that. Like, I mean, this is the obvious choice, like with RTS. I mean, there's what else do you need? I'm just like saying, because from what I have been seeing from the comments on the channel, from other people's, and I see other YouTube channels also recommending RTS a lot. So it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, no, I love to hear it. And as I mentioned earlier, we've been in business for over 30 years. We're still a family-owned company. We're not a traditional bank like a majority of other factoring companies. And our CEO and founder is still leading the company to this day. So it's a big difference with how we do things here. And we're another thing I want to mention. I was prior service for 7 years, and we also have discounts for veterans, for all of our service members. So just something to kind of throw out there on the side. But we love giving back to the folks that serve the United States. So it all really goes into the brand of the company and the culture of the company.
All right. Well, we had a really nice conversation, and then I hope to have you back soon on the channel. We could maybe do another video. And then also, as far as contacting you, I have a link in description of each video. I also have your phone number and your email in some of these videos, but I also want to give out your direct phone number just to make sure that people, when they reach out, that they go directly to you, because you can give them discounts, better discounts, and you can help them out, because we have this connection with my viewers. They really like watching my videos. They really like, because when I recommend someone, I don't recommend anyone that I haven't been working with, or that I don't know personally, or that I'm not currently using. I always, I don't want to recommend anyone like that. With you, I know you, I've used RTS, I know you guys, and I want everyone to go straight to you. So the phone number for Amel is 615-614-5143. That's his direct number. And then I'll also have that number in description of the video. If you want to give out more information about other discounts you guys can offer.
For sure. No, I'm more than happy to. Yeah, I would encourage, all the viewers, reach out to me directly, or, if you get in touch with somebody at RTS, just mention that you heard about us from Never Stop Trucking, and I'll make sure we've got an additional little discount that we can help out with. And same thing, if you're prior service member, if you served in the military, I'm prior service 7 years, 19 kilos, so I be more than happy to work with you and help out in any way that I can. And we give veterans discounts, and not just here at RTS, but also through our preferred fuel partners. So definitely something that I'd love to expand more on.
All right, Amel, thanks for being here. And like you said, make sure you mention the name of the channel, Never Stop Trucking, in order to get the best discounts. Thanks, Amel, once again.
Of course. Thank you.
All right.